Let's talk about the dictionary, translate, and reading speed. Let's begin with the dictionary. The dictionary is an Oxford-style dictionary. We use Wiktionary. With that, it means that if you have a suffix on the end of your word, then you look up the root word. I could, if I wanted to, look up the word senses. And when I look it up, it tells me it cannot find it. But I could look up the word sense and I find out it's a noun and a verb. If I look up the word read, you see that it's a verb, a noun, or an adjective. Notice the order that it gives it to you also, which is the typical way. There are other words that may be nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, depending on how they're used. They would all be listed. Up here at the top, you see that it's telling you it's using an online dictionary. Personally, I like the online dictionary because my print dictionary is from 1983, and words like quaffle or quidditch would not be found in my paper dictionary, but they would be found in an online dictionary. I could click I understand and it goes away. Notice that I do have the abilities that I have with any text block to change the font size, the font, the color combination on it. I could change my reading speed. I could change things with this, making font larger or smaller without going into my text settings, and I can play this. Now let's look at translation. With translation, we use Google Translate. Now what that basically means is if you are translating something using Google Translate, you are doing this word by word or by phrases. If I highlight and translate different learning preferences, let's say into Spanish. It is different preferences, and I think this is meaning of learning or of your learning, type something. This is telling you up here that you're using Google Translate, and you can also see that down at the bottom. I'm going to click I understand, and we're going to listen to different learning preferences in its Spanish translation.
Diferentes preferencias de aprendizaje.
All right, we just now heard that in Spanish. The next thing we're going to look at is reading speed. You can access reading speed by clicking on listen, and I'm going to pause it. And here's my reading speed. I can move it up or down, or I can go down here to settings or text mode and also access reading speed. Reading speed can be adjusted to your preference. Again, this is another one of the things about preferences. If you move your reading speed down, it's going slower, and that would be to the left or moving it down on the vertical scale. Going to the right or up is faster. However, let's think about this. If you're learning a second language, you need to make certain that you're hearing the pronunciations carefully so that you can replicate them. So that means that I would be using it right here, moving it down slower. This could also be used if it is a technical piece of material you're listening to and you've got to grab every nuance of the material, then this would be another time that you might want to slow it down. But if I'm going into an occupation where information comes at you fast, I want to move this speed up so that I can learn how to listen quickly. A lot of medical areas that use ReadSpeaker move the reading speed up with different scenarios that they play throughout the semester. They first set it at one speed, they play it, let the students hear it, write down what they learned, then discuss all the things that they missed in listening. Then later in the semester, they'll play one a little bit faster and keep going until they basically get up to about double time on listening. And what happens is the students are then able to grab all the information when you're panicked and you're having trouble getting that information out to the person. Picture it's 6 or 7 o'clock on a Friday evening and your child breaks their arm. The first thing you're going to do is take them to the emergency room. because the doctor's offices are closed. Well, you get them to the emergency room. You're trying to get in there and out of there before Friday night traffic starts happening in the emergency room. Because of that, you're talking very fast. You're also panicked because your child is in pain. So keeping that in mind, it helps you understand how listening quickly can be beneficial to those students. If you had two students that were equal on paper and one of them had this soft skill of listening quickly, you'd probably choose that one because you know they're going to be more productive in the work environment. Remember, reading speed is a setting, and settings are held in the cookies or cache of your computer.